everybody, so today I'm going to be doing my August book haul. Some of these books I accumulated in the month of July as well as August, but you know, I didn't do a book haul in July. I don't think I did. If I did, it was at the very beginning, but I decided just to put them in my August book haul because I wanted to share them with you guys. So without further ado, let's get started. I have some really good books. I got a majority of these books actually at Half Price Books. If you guys do not know what Half Price Books is, it's an amazing bookstore where every single book there is half off, if not more, and I love it. I get a majority of my books there. I go to Barnes & Noble a lot, but I mainly go to Half Price Books because you can get the book for less. I mean, oh yeah, I'm there. I will do it. I love Half Price Books. Okay, so the first book I got was ILLUMINAE by Amy Kaufman and J. Kristoff. Okay, whenever I saw this book, like, I don't know, like a year ago when it first came out, I always thought Illuminati when I saw this title, Illuminati, which is hilarious. I just think it's funny because the Illuminati is such like a thing nowadays. Anyways, this book takes place in the year 2575 and it's all about these two rival corporations wanting the same planet. And it's really weird because this is just like a little planet that seems very much just not important. And nobody has actually told the people who live on this planet, so that's an issue. So with enemy fire raining down upon them, the two main characters, Ezra and Caddy, are forced to fight their way onto a ship that is fleeing this planet with the enemy warship in hot pursuit, so that's just fun. But that is the least of their worries because there's a deadly virus outbreaking on the ship and the ship's AI is working against them, they think, and there's just a lot of crazy things happening in this book, and it's written really interestingly. Like, this book is one of the most unique books I've seen this year so far, without a doubt. Like, it's just written so coolly and it's just so much fun to read, I've heard. So I'm really excited to read this book. I hear it's a very quick read and very enlightening. So super excited about it. Okay, so the next two books are the second and third book in a series called Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and I read this book a long time ago, so I decided to get the next two books in the series because I wanted to reread the first one. So the second and third book in the series is Dreams of Gods and Monsters and Days of Blood and Starlight. Probably the most beautiful titles ever. Gorgeous. What I remember about the first book, since I read it about 2 years ago, was that it's a very high fantasy set in Prague, and there was like, I think there was like angels and there's reincarnation in this book. There is lots of crazy creatures. I know there's like some wishbone action going on. It's like a lot of magic and it's so cool because it takes place in our world, but not our world because there's an alternate world within our own. So I just reread the summary of the first book and it wasn't an angel, it was a seraph, and it sounds just really cool because I know that the seraph that comes and finds her is linked to, you know, her in some type of way, and it's about her figuring out who he is and what is going on, and this whole entire just conflict going on in this world that she thought she knew a lot about, but turns out she only knew the bare minimum of it. So it's really cool, and I just remember reading the first book, and I know that when I read it I wasn't totally into high fantasy, so I didn't understand a lot of it, so that's why I want to reread it, and I'm really excited to, and I cannot wait to marathon the second two books in the series. So the next book I bet a lot of you guys have read before, or some of you guys have probably never heard of, because I feel like it's one or the other, because I have heard both sides. Some people are like, what is that book? And some people were like, oh my gosh, that was my childhood. This was a book that I knew about as a child but never got to read it. So I'm really excited that I found it at Half Price Books for $7. I'm really happy about that. And that is The Invention of HUGO CABRET. And hopefully I'm pronouncing that last word right. So this book is about a boy named Hugo, and he lives in this clock tower in Paris, and his survival pretty much depends on secrecy and thievery. But all of a sudden his world gets turned upside down and he meets an old man and a very bookish girl, and their worlds intertwine, and it's all about a cryptic drawing, a treasure notebook, a stolen key, a mechanical man, and a hidden message from Hugo's dead father. And this was actually a movie, and I cannot wait to read this book and then watch the movie because I have not seen the movie yet. It's supposed to be so phenomenal and has drawings within the book, so it's a very visual experience as well. A lot of these pages are drawings and then some of them are actual text, so it's really cool. It should be a very easy, fast read that's very visually stimulating. I feel like a teacher when I say that. And I'm really excited about it. This next book I got at the midnight release party, and literally I went to the biggest midnight release party for this novel, and I did not know that. It was the biggest one in America at least. It had like over 2,000 people there. Insane. Did not expect that at all. So I was like, you know, there'd be like, you know, 100 people there to pick up the book. No. But it was really fun. And that was was, of course, The Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling, Jack Thorne, and John Tiffany. I can never remember his name. But this is the 8th Harry Potter story, and I'm so excited to read it once I'm finished with the last 2 books of Harry Potter. I know that a lot of you guys were like, why aren't you done with the series yet, Sasha? Well, there's a good explanation for this. I really want to read the series during the fall time because I feel like it's a very fall-y book, and I did not want to finish the books all at once very quickly because I wanted to savor them because I know that it's such an amazing, amazing, beautiful story, and I don't want it to be all over within like the same month that I start reading the first book. Like, I just don't want it to be like that way because I know a lot of people are like, I wish that I could read it over again with fresh eyes, a fresh mind, and not knowing what would happen next. And so that's why I'm really like taking this to heart and being like, yeah, I don't want to read it all at once. I don't want to marathon it. I want to be able to read it over the course of a year or 2 and really just absorb this world rather than rush into it and read it and then finish it all at once. I don't want that to happen. So I'm finishing the rest of the series this fall, and I'm so excited. Then I'll be reading this book, which takes place after the last book happens, and it takes place not right after, but takes place 19 years later. So it is not like an actual book per se, like it's not written like an actual book. It's written in play form. So I'm really excited to read that. The next book I got because I really want to read some Sherlock Holmes books and stories. So of course I just got the huge bind up edition that's actually very light for how large it is. Like, you would think that this would weigh a lot. No, it's weirdly, strangely light. I got this one from Barnes & Noble for $8, and I think that's such a steal, especially from Barnes & Noble. It has the greatest adventures of Sherlock Holmes stories, 4 complete novels within this, and I'm so excited to read it. If you guys do not know who Sherlock Holmes is, he's pretty much the greatest detective of all time in literature, and I love this stuff. There's lots of TV shows and movies based on him, and they're phenomenal. I actually just watched the movie for like the 2nd time ever, and I didn't see the movie for like a few years, since it came out in 2009, I think it was. So seeing it again in 2016 was really great, and I'm like, this is still a great movie. I love it, and I want to watch the 2nd one again because I haven't seen that since it came out too. So hey, Robert Downey Jr., I'm coming for you. This is me mainly substituting not seeing Sherlock, the TV show, for so long and trying to keep holding on for just a little bit longer until the show comes out with new episodes. When is that gonna happen again? I feel like they just postponed it again. Like, I don't know. I'm excited though. I'll wait. It's worth it. So this next book is the Utopia Book Club book of the month for August, and if you guys want to join the book club, the link will be down below. This is called Baby Doll by Holly Overton, and I am so excited to read this book because I watch a lot of documentaries about women and men and children being abducted technically and put in the basement of some creeper's house. It's really weird, but I find them very fascinating, especially the stories of how they got out, how they escaped, and I think it's such an amazing story, even though it comes from a very dark place. And I really have never read a novel about it. I've only watched documentaries. So this book is mainly about Lily and her mother Sky, and they have been held captive for 8 years. And Lily is 8 years old, so she's been captive her whole entire life. And then her mother Sky has been captive, you know, since she was taken by their kidnapper. And it's about them escaping one day once their captor leaves the basement door unlocked, and they escape and go back into the real world after 8 years of not being in it. And it's about them experiencing this world like it's new again because they were in a basement for 8 years. Getting sunshine for the first time in 8 years is probably a wonderful experience. You probably feel like Edward Cullen when he goes out and sparkles in the sunlight. But you know, like, that's really sad that they were held captive for 8 years. And it's about them, like, you know, catching up with the people that were left behind 8 years ago when they were kidnapped and being like, hey guys, we're not dead, we're back here, but we're very emotionally scarred. And I'm really interested in as to how this book is gonna turn out, what it's gonna be like for these characters, and I'm so excited to read it because it sounds so interesting. And let's go on with the theme of captivity, because why not? So I also acquired the book Room by Emma Donoghue, and this book won many Oscars, and I think that the main actress in this film won like the overall main female lead at the Oscars, so go you girl, go you. But this is supposed to be a phenomenal story, once again, about a woman who was held captive when she was kidnapped and she had a child down in the basement where her captor held her. And it's through the point of view of the boy, Jack, and I think that's so cool because he's 5 years old, and I've never read a book from a 5-year-old's perspective, especially something with this serious type of content in it. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to turn out. It's about them escaping and about his experiences growing up in a room, just one room. That's insane. And so I'm really excited to see how this is gonna be. It's gonna be definitely something that I've never really read before. So I'm so excited to jump into this experience, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts on it once I read it. Okay guys, so that is my August book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. All these books will be linked down below, so definitely go check that out. If you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, my username is just @SashaAlsberg. I'll put that out there. I never really mentioned that. I have other social medias, guys, except YouTube, so check me out there. I post lots of videos and photos of my dogs and books, but mostly my dogs. Okay guys, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!